little bit of a personal philosophical approach to kind of how I embrace every day that I wake up to start my day as a football coach and as a person, as a father, as a husband, as a friend. We're going to get into some of the philosophies that we believe in at USC and things that we took with us from USC to Washington and then kind of created our own and then brought that from Washington back to USC. And then we're going to get into the perimeter passing game and how we think it can equalize things from an offensive perspective when you're facing all these really good defenses and defenders and all that stuff. So from there, we'll start right here with something that I truly believe in. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. It is more important than the past, than education, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or do. It is more important than appearance, talent, or skill. And all these I'm going to tell you right now before I get into the next slides. This is really important when you're at a place like USC because sometimes we can lose sight of our attitude because we think we look good, we think we're talented because we got a bunch of stars, or you think because I go to these combines that I test real well or I win in one-on-ones, but your attitude is more important than that. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day of our lives regarding the attitude we embrace for that day, for today. We cannot change our past. It doesn't matter that we've been on sanctions. Nobody cares. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. Some people love at USC, either love them or you hate them. That's the beauty of being at this place, okay? We cannot change the inevitable, okay? It's going to rain in Seattle when I get there tonight, all right? The one thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I'm convinced, okay, life is 10% what happens to me, 90% how I react to it. And we're going to talk more about that in a bit when we talk about adversity and how it strikes. And so it is with you. We're in charge of our attitudes. Okay, so we read this every single day, okay, when we go to off-season conditioning. So at 6 a.m., when the big boys go in there to work out, they read this out loud every single day. The attitude we embrace for that day. Can't see this great, but another mantra we live by: we do not survive, we dominate. It's a mentality. It's a mindset. It's who we are. It's what we're about. Everybody, in my opinion, and this is getting from Pete Carroll, everybody should have a philosophical approach to some degree. Everybody sets goals, but what's our philosophical approach to make that happen? You have to start with a belief. Our belief is we expect to win. We expect to win. It's not just a saying on the screen or on a wall in our locker room or on a t-shirt. It has to be a belief. It has to come from within. How do we get there? When it comes to football, no one is tougher, no one's faster. It's a mindset. And you have to have a style in which you do that. We perform with amazing energy. Whether you're a coach, whether you're a trainer, a strength staff, star quarterback, walk-on quarterback, walk-on D lineman, whatever we do it with amazing energy. It's infectious. We play fast, we play smart. Our enthusiasm is just contagious. And the first thing we critique in anything we do is our effort. Effort, effort, effort. Effort takes no talent. Effort takes zero talent. We're really simple. We have 4 team rules. We have 4 team rules. Rule number 1 is protect the team. Develop a conscience to protect the team. And that encompasses so much, guys. I could talk for 3 hours on it. But in general, it's off the field, right? It's making great decisions on Friday night. It's going to class so you're not the guy that's ineligible or the guy that's getting punished in spring because he's got to do extra study hall and doesn't get to go out to spring practice. So now your buddy's got to take extra reps because you're not there. It's about during practice, taking care of your guy on the other side of the ball. We all know you're a great hitter. You don't need to take that shot on our receiver. We need him on Saturday. There's so much that goes into this development of conscience that it's about the team. Rule number 2 is there is no whining, no complaining, and no excuses. It's the way we think. It's the way we act. It's the way we talk to ourselves. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter what just happened to me. If you have an issue that you're not getting enough reps, do something about it. Play better. Play better. Okay? There's no whining, no complaining, and no excuses. Nobody wants to hear your sob story in the locker room or in the training room. Okay? And we have to catch each other when we get in that moment. Be early. Don't be on time, be early. Because when you're early, that means you're prepared and you're organized. You got your life in order. Okay? Be early in all facets of life. And lastly, communicate. Because I'm going to tell you what, if you go to any one of your guys' locker rooms today, the first thing you're going to do, half the room's going to have their head down and have their phone out. Unfortunately, so are we in this day and age. Everybody thinks this is the form of communication. We've lost the art of looking people in the eye and talking. In our youth, it's getting worse and worse and worse. But then we're going to go up and we're hammering these guys on 3rd and 5 so that the safety in the corner are communicating with one another to make their calls. They don't know that yet. It's not innate in them anymore. We have to teach these guys to communicate on a daily basis, whether it's with their coaches, trainers, strength staff, and one another. Because right now, that's not the form of communication. That's the foundation that they have. It's becoming technological in a sense. Okay? We talk about compete. Talk about compete, something we live by. And by the way, this is the best word in our dictionary today. Be relentless in our pursuit to gain a competitive edge. Be relentless. It's the best word, man. Relentless. You don't stop. You don't get complacent. You don't settle. Because unfortunately, change is inevitable. When you're in summer workout, so's the other guy, right? So's the other team. They're working at it too. When you feel like we're in a good place, they're still working, they're going to pass you. Be relentless in your pursuit to gain a competitive edge. I'm a firm believer that our players operate in 3 separate worlds. Okay, they have their football world, they have their workouts, they have their rehab, they have practice, they have film study, they have playbook study, right? They have all that. Then they have their academic world. Okay, they got school, tutors, class schedules, teachers they don't like, classes that are too hard. Okay, and then they have their personal and social life. They've got girlfriends, mom's sick, dad's sick. They got all sorts of stuff going on. Okay? The way we operate is these 3 worlds, whether we like it or not, are all tied together. Are all tied together. And when our players' football life is good, generally his academic life is good, generally his personal life is good. And when all 3 of those are good, man, his world is spinning and life is going great. And the more guys I have on our roster whose life is good like this, guess what? Our world is good. Our world is good. Inevitably, what happens? A guy gets hurt. ACL, shoulder, ankle, concussion, hamstring. Football world's not great. What happens, the academic world, sooner rather than you know it, starts to fall off too. He's using that as an excuse not to go to class. Okay? And then when that starts happening, oh, now my personal world starts changing. Well, I'm not playing this week. I'm going to go to this party. I'm going to hang out with this guy. I'm going to hang out with this. Okay? Their world stops moving. It comes to a screeching halt. It can happen in academics, right? They can be in a class that's too hard. They're struggling in school. Okay? Boom. The class is so hard. He's staying up too late trying to study. His football starts to fall off. Then here comes the social life. Or it can be his personal world. First time a girl dumps him. First time he dumps a girl, he's going to go looking. Something happens at home. Mom gets sick. Mom gets cancer. So what I'm constantly doing is I'm looking for that screwdriver that's stopping one of these wheels from spinning. And the first thing I'm trying to do is yank the screwdriver out. Because I need their world to keep spinning in a positive manner so that our world is good. And when you start getting a bunch of worlds that come to a screeching halt, they start gravitating towards one another, and then their world starts going in a negative direction, and it works against our positive world. Okay, so this is a big factor, something we talk about really on a daily basis as a program. I do talk a little bit about leadership, because I think this is important when you're working with your players, to do your job to make others' jobs easier. And a real simple saying that we live by, be the worker who gets things done. Be that guy who gets it done, not the one that watches it get done or wonders how it happened. You have too many guys that, hey, wonder how it happened or want to watch it happen, and not enough of the guys that get it done, that get their job done. It gets hard. And then you're relying on too few of people, and then when they miss, when they're wrong, we're wrong as a team. We miss as a team. Okay, so you want more people that are getting it done collectively and doing their job so that we have less people standing on the side watching and wondering. Mental toughness. We're going to get adversity. We just talked about it, right? In those other 3 phases, it's going to happen. Adversity comes in every shape, form, color, size. We never know when it's going to rear its ugly head. We never know. We never know. How we deal with the adversity is what's critical. Developing the mental toughness is such a key component to our identity because it's going to strike. It's going to strike in the first quarter. It's going to strike in school. It's going to strike at home. Okay? It's not about what just happened to me. It's about what we're going to do about it and where we're headed. Nobody wants to hear woe is me. Nobody wants to sit around and sulk on Monday and Tuesday because we lost a big game on Saturday night. We don't have time for it. I can say this to the team all I want, but I have to embody that characteristic. I've got to come back with that amazing energy that we talked about in the beginning. Because ultimately they're looking at the leadership and they're going to follow us as leaders. Everybody wants to say, God, we got to develop leadership on this team. Develop yourself. Develop yourself as a leader. They'll follow you. Believe me, they'll follow you. But the leadership has to come from within first. Then leadership gets developed because they see you. I will say it is vitally important to focus on the task at hand. Too many times as coaches, in my opinion, okay, we dwell on yesterday or we're looking at tomorrow and we miss what's right in front of us, which is today. Learn from yesterday. That's fine. We got to learn from the ball game. Okay? But focus on today, and by doing that, you'll prepare for tomorrow. You can't worry about the what ifs. What if we win? What if we lose? If you're concerned with the consequences, man, you got the wrong approach. Learn from yesterday, focus on today, prepare for tomorrow. Okay? When you can start to bring all these things together, philosophically for us, our total approach to where we can get to this belief of expect to win so that I can prove to our players, coaches, staff, administration that we're worthy of winning because of our skill, our schemes, our preparation, mental and physical, and then ultimately our effort. That's what I'm trying to get accomplished every Friday night when I sit up in front of our team, to let them know that they're worthy of winning. I think the natural thing is, hey, we throw it all over the place, and geez, man, it's just, they're throwing it all over the place in the Pac-12 at sunny Southern California, and that's what they do. The reality of it is we're a run-first football team, and we have some traditional run thoughts in how we do things, and we have some spread principles in how we do things, and we do it at an up-tempo pace. Our thought and our goal in the passing game is to protect our quarterback while being explosive. We want to be explosive, productive, and efficient in the passing game. We got to limit our number of lost yardage plays and turnovers in the passing game to be a really effective offense. We'll always try to make the defense, which is important, defend every inch of the field. We want to make sure they defend all 53 1/3 yards, okay, and all 100 yards. They got to defend it all and to make sure that they're defending all 6 viable ball carriers, right? Defend them all. Last season, we had a pretty good offense. We had about 500 yards a game. 239 of those were on the ground. Our rusher had 1,900 yards rushing, was a Doak Walker finalist. We threw the ball pretty effectively, 260 yards a game, decent efficiency, touchdowns, rushing and passing, scoring offense, all those things, interceptions. So numbers are numbers, that's great. Year to year, they're going to vary, right, based on the talent that you have. What you do with the talent's important, okay, and not being stubborn just to say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, but to build your offense around the talent that you have and the playmakers that you have. So perimeter screen game, which is what I want to get into. Why do you use them? Why do people use the perimeter screens? One, easy, right? High percentage throws, gets the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, okay? extremely unlikely you don't get sacked, okay? There is no thought process for the quarterback. You're not reading anything, right? Very simple, okay? Very unlikely to throw interceptions, puts the ball in space to your athletes to allow them to make plays, okay? The combination of the perimeter screen with the run game, okay, and then implementing that with a guy. Everybody thinks you have to do this to have an athletic quarterback. You can do this and not have this guy who runs 4.5. Nick Foles is a 5'2" guy for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Chip went there and lit it up as well by distributing the football, okay? You can use it off of nakeds and play action passes, which we'll get into. You can run multiple formations and motions. It helps against the loaded box teams, the zone pressure teams, which we'll touch on here in a minute when we look at the video. There's no new learning for the offensive line. It's the same types of screens over and over. The running play that's called, the screen is tagged with it. Okay, and then you can create passes off of those same screen looks. So last season, we threw 100 pass attempts essentially off of the perimeter screen game. We completed 85 of those, 85% pass ratio. 5 of those were drops. We really should have been 90%. So every 10 times I throw it, I'm completing 9 of them. That's not a bad ratio. We had a sack, he had to pull it down, we threw 1 pick. The average completion was 6.3, and you're going to say, well, that's not very good. It's not a very good number. When we throw perimeter screens, in our opinion, it is a running play. If you average 6.3, if you called power 100 times next season, and you average 6.3 yards a carry, would you do it? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So you can't get discouraged sometimes when you throw it out there and you get 2 yards, okay? And your O-line coach goes, man, why aren't we just running? That didn't work. Okay, well, we might get 8 on the next one. We might pop one for 50. Okay, it happens. We had 66 of those were 4 yards or more. So if 2/3 of the time you ran a running play and you got more than 4 yards on 1st and 10, you'd love it. 14 explosive plays, 5 touchdowns. Okay, again, why do we do it? Why do we tag it with the run game? Take advantage of the box count or a soft corner. Give a non-running QB the option to put the ball out in space. Okay, no new learning for the offensive line. Execute the run called in the huddle. Okay, we sell this part of the run game. It is part of the run game for us. Really good stuff for us on a early down call, maybe a 2nd and 10 to get you in a 3rd and manageable, and we really love it on that 3rd and 3 to 5 area, right, where the defense can't be right. Okay, you can take advantage of the defense, you get the best of both worlds to convert and to get yourselves a 1st down. I want to get into some stuff here film-wise. So this is a run tagged with a single receiver, what we call a now route. And it seems really simple, but it's an easy way to take advantage of a defense. We're right down here. Our rule's simple. If he's got 7 yards of separation, okay, the quarterback has the freedom to stand up, raise up, and throw that ball to him, okay? Forget what the line's doing. We're running lead stretch week, okay? We're taking 1 hard jab step. We don't want to jump back too far. Quarterback, I want that ball on his front shoulder, right on his front shoulder so that he can get square to attack the corner. Initial movement by this receiver, we're going to attack the outside shoulder of this corner to stretch this thing. If he's going to give me the perimeter, I'll outrun him. If he overplays, now that gives me the opportunity to cut back and maximize separation from the defender coming from inside out. Okay, so whatever your run is, if I'm running 17 Bronco Z now, it's just tagging that screen to that receiver. Okay, a couple more examples of it. Another way to incorporate this is with motion. Okay, if a guy's going to play tighter to you with motion, now he softens up. Okay, you get the separation that you want at the sap, 7 yards from the corner. You raise up and throw it. Same principle. The idea is we love it when these guys try to come up and attack you and try to gator attack you, because when you make a miss, the move happens quicker in the play. Now there's more separation from the defenders coming from inside out. Okay, and now we can create a big play. If I'm standing in the way of somebody, let me know too. I'll move as best I can. Okay, so you can do it with motion. Okay, really good down here in the red zone. Now I know you guys were talking about zone defense on the goal line. Who was talking about that earlier? Okay, what do a lot of people play down there with their corners? Hang technique, right? They want to hang, helps them with the fade, keeps their eyes on the quarterback, okay? Also, you can play a little inside leverage to take away the slant game. Well, shoot, you can throw these down here, right? 7 yards off, spit it out to the guy. Now it's one-on-one. This is football as our guys know it. It's the tackling drills you do in training camp. If you've got a guy who wins those tackling drills that can't get tackled, great way to take advantage of them. Okay? Same idea. Now, we incorporated this initially. We were calling nows. So how are they going to take away the now? They come up and press, right? They come up and press. If they want to be a zone team, they'll press and bail. Okay? Well, we incorporated what we call a slick route. The now, as just like hitches would convert to fades, right, versus press, the now converts to a slick versus bump or bail. And it's really good versus cover 2 teams because of the distribution between the backer and the corner who's funneling you inside. So here's a press corner. Same plays called, right? We're running that stretch lead week. Okay, with a now, Z now, it's bump, converts right now to a slick. Quarterback's got free access, he can take it. Okay. Here's another one versus press, single high press. Okay, flat defenders tucked in the box. First down. One step slant, violently cross the defender's face. Violently cross the defender's face. It is the traditional slant would be 3 steps. This is a 1-step slant. Your inside foot is up. Okay, hard, 1 step, violently cross the defender's face. Quarterback, put it right on him. Remember, this is a running play. In our minds, this is a run. Okay, gain of 7 on power. Okay. Now you can get into the 2x2 screen game, right? 2x2 screen game, pretty simple. Pretty simple. This is your traditional bubble, right? Traditional bubble, this isn't anything new that all you guys aren't running. The one thing that we felt like was more efficient for the quarterback and for the bubble runner, if you notice the technique of the bubble runner, we got away from the traditional bubbling back and running sideways away from the quarterback. Felt like it was harder for the quarterback to throw. So we got into a unique little back pedal technique. Slightly losing ground, back pedal. It was easier for the quarterback because how does the quarterback warm up every day before practice? Stands there and plays catch with a guy staring at him, right? It's the way he's throwing, it's the way he's accustomed to throwing every single day. So we put him in relation to how he's used to warming up every day. So every day in practice, we never just warm up with this guy. It's constantly aiming for that front targeted shoulder. So if you see the accuracy of the throw, now that naturally gets this guy to turn his body to get square and to get vertical. We thought that was a good changeup. The other thing this allowed us to do by going to this technique instead of bubbling back, because these defensive guys, if you're a defensive guy, raise your hand in the room. Who's a defensive guy? Okay, you guys game plan, you're scouting, right? And you say, hey, when they're in 2x2 and number 2's off the ball, be ready for what? The bubble. So now with this technique, we didn't do it here, you can put number 2 on the ball, put number 1 off. Now that little back pedal technique is still the same throw for the quarterback. You can hide the bubble screen a little bit better that way, okay? Can hide it a little bit better. And we got a single back power play going here. Nothing changes for the O-line. Get the ball in the perimeter. Outside with our receivers, we are going to attack this defender. We're going to attack this defender as long as he allows me to attack him. The moment the defender stops his feet, I'm going to stop my feet and we're going to play basketball. My hands are inside. I'm going to attack his outside shoulder. If he's going to fight to get outside here, I'm going to widen him to create a bigger running lane away from this inside defender. If he allows me to reach his outside shoulder, I'll reach him to allow my runner to get up the sidelines. But I'm going to stretch him. I'm going to attack his outside shoulder. When his feet stop, my feet stop. we play basketball. If he comes hard charging at me, I'm cutting your outside thigh board. You're going down. You're getting cut. Good look at it. When he makes his final movement, when this corner makes his final movement to go react to make the play, let go. Inevitably, he'll grab him. The natural instinct is to grab him. That's when you get flagged. When he makes that last jerk movement where I'm blocking, I know now the ball's inside of me. He's jerking to go, let go. He won't make the play. If he does, so be it. We're not getting a holding penalty, negating a good gain, okay? Let go. Here's a good look at it. Okay? There's nothing that says you can't throw bubbles into the boundary, right? All these teams, these zone pressure teams, these 3-4 zone pressure teams, right? They stand that big end up into the boundary. They're trying to drop 8. They're trying to bring field pressure. They're trying to bring gut cross up the middle. Well, who's a better defender, that athletic nickel Sam or this slug who goes to D-line drills for an hour a day, right? The big guy, he's not a very good athlete. So you can get mileage throwing these things into the boundary. Don't worry so much about the spacing. Just make sure your technique is right, okay, by the receiver. There's a great look at the back pedal again into the boundary. Okay, there's this big old defensive end. They're trying to kick their front around or outside backer into the boundary. They're playing nickel. There's an extra DB. Here's the 240-pound backer. Spit that thing out in the boundary. Let them go play. Okay? Pretty good look at it. Pretty good look at it. The other way to throw these things into the boundary, which we've had success with, okay, is to use motion. Okay? You get the same result. That was this exact same play we just ran, correct? Everything finishes the same. But you hide it. You hide it with the motion. Depending on how people play this motion, it's another easy way to get the ball on the perimeter. Again, this is a run. I'm thinking this is a run. It's 2nd and 5. It's 2nd and 15, guys. I'm trying to get us into a manageable 3rd down. He's counting. That's a good question. On all of these, he's counting. We're counting. If I get 2-on-1, I never count a safety who's beyond 7 yards. He's irrelevant. He does not count. So now I'm counting the near defenders. If I have 2, if I have a receiver and a blocker, I'm counting. If I get 2-on-1, we're throwing it every time. And you have to trust your quarterback to do it, and you have to trust these guys to block to it, because in our mind, it is a run. We'll talk more about that, especially when we get down into the goal line scenarios. Okay? Nobody expands. Nobody expands. This is a really easy read for the quarterback. Okay? Obviously, you can do this out of 3-by-1 sets, right? So now the same box count, how we were going 2-on-1, now we're trying to go 3-on-2. 3-on-2. If number 3 is going to stay attached to the box, okay, we get numbers, correct? Pretty easy. I really like the technique of both these blockers here, especially the inside guy. They're patient, they're patient, they're patient. Okay, when his feet break down, my feet break down. Okay, outside shoulder, potentially could have bounced this ball right and stayed out here. Once you go in there, you're on your own, bud. You're on your own. Okay, really good look at it. Playing teams like Stanford, man, they got some hombres in here now. This is a physical group. You got to find ways to make them defend the field horizontally as much as you want them to defend it vertically. Okay. Okay, here's another example of the 3-by-1 set. Now, again, attacking the boundary side of it. Okay, we got 3-on-2 right here. 3-on-2, pretty easy look at it. Back pedal out still. Okay, good look. Good look. But again, we're just counting numbers, sheer numbers. Okay? If you're playing a team that says, okay, we're not going to let you throw that bubble to number 3 out of 3-by-1 set. We're gonna line someone on him to make that play. You can just tag it to now to go to number 2. and whatever your system, however your system works. And now I still have my count. There's still only 2 defenders. We have 3. Now I throw that ball to number 2. I still have my 2 blockers. I really love the technique of the tight end getting to the outside shoulder. Not great by the receiver on the outside, but again, the ball ends up in that scenario just as if I threw it to number 3. Now I'm throwing it to number 2. So it's a way to manipulate them. It's just sheer numbers. Sheer numbers. Again, this is third and 3. Third and 3, and we're giving them a run pass option. This is a quarterback who runs 5 flat. We don't want him to pull the ball and run, so this is our way of keeping the defense honest. Okay? Another really unique way to do it is to get an unbalanced to run the same screens. Okay? To do the same things. Okay? So now my tight end is here. My tight end is here. I still have my 3 receiver set here, but again, defensive coaches know I've added a gap, right? I've created a gap that the defense has to defend now. Their normal 3-by-1 defense won't fit right because this guy has to walk out over number 2. If they do that, I'm going to keep running power or inside zone and keep attacking the C and D gap, right? So I'm going to make them attach somebody to this gap, and now I'm going to force to play 3-on-2 right here. Okay, it's a really easy, unique way to make that happen. Okay, so you just bring them over. You make them either defend the run and defend this gap, or you can attack the perimeter on the outside right here. So there's a great look at it. Really good patience by both these guys. Again, what's his problem right here? Outside shoulder, man. Stretch it, outside shoulder. It's a good run by the runner to get the thing outside. But it's a really simple way to force them to defend the run and the pass out of an unbalanced formation, an unbalanced set. Okay? You can also do it. Okay, so what does everyone do to you if you get in the traditional 2-by-2 sets or 3-by-1 sets? I don't know what you guys want to call it. We call it palms. They'll palms it with their defense, okay? So the corner's sitting there staring at number 2, and if number 2 bubbles, he goes and shoots his gun and triggers right at the bubble guy, and the safety's looking at 2. When 2 bubbles, I'm over the top of 1, right? That's the other way people play it. Well, how can you negate that? You get in bunch sets, you get in stack sets with your receiver, so now you've got your blocker right there. He can't trigger the guy, okay? Here's a way out of unbalanced, we're in unbalanced, in a bunch set into the boundary. So I'm trying to take advantage of all the things I was talking about, right? The stand-up defensive end into the boundary for all the field zone pressure stuff, and I'm in unbalanced, and now I'm in a bunch set. So I'm trying to protect every aspect of this thing to get the ball on the perimeter. So here comes my linebacker trotting out here. Okay, the run looks pretty good too, right? I mean, shoot, we got numbers. We got all these guys in white jerseys down here doing nothing out there to the field, right? We got all that stuff to the field, but shoot, I got numbers into the boundary. It's a really good way to get the ball out to them. Okay, nice job by the receivers, both these guys, man. Both these guys. Well done. The last reaction by the DB, let them go. Really well done. Really well done. Okay, same formation. Same formation, okay? I got my unbalanced set. I got my bunch into the boundary, okay? 2 things happen on the goal line why we like to do this. That's why we tell our quarterback to stick to his rules and to not worry about short yardage or goal line. Stick to your rules because it works. 1 of 2 things are going to happen on the goal line. You're going to get man-to-man because a lot of people play man-to-man, so it's hard to find who you have, right? I got 3 receivers into the boundary and a tight end. My backside corner doesn't know where to go. Or you get sheer zone, and now I can outnumber you in the bunch into the boundary, or I gain an advantage in the C and D gap right here for the running game. So here's a look. We get man-to-man. My guy can't get over there to get lined up. Really easy way to get in the end zone. Okay, so run pass options. Probably would have liked him to attack his outside shoulder a little bit more, but what I do like right here is what I'm talking about. Don't grab him, right? His last reaction, let him go. When he makes that last really violent reaction, let him go. we get in the end zone. Okay, here we go. Now we're in two-man stacks, two-man stack alignments. Okay, you got it. He's wrong. He should be running as well. But there it is into the boundary. Same look. You're getting pressure. Backer's got to try to come out and get underneath it. Really easy way to get a first down. Okay, you can motion to stack alignments. Run the same plays just to create a little bit of hesitation in the defense, a little bit of confusion. Okay, we're not communicating very well here. Nobody's bumping out. Really easy read for the quarterback. I like his aiming point, right? See this guy? This aiming point, getting to that outside shoulder, stretching it, stretching it. Now he can cut back. He's further away. Really good finish. So you can hide these things too. Great look at it. Great look at it. Okay, here's a shift. Okay, here's a shift. Now you can short motion to the stack alignment. Again, cover two corner, can't hear it. Really simple way to get the ball. What I like about this throw, here's a pro-style offense under center doing it, putting the ball on his front shoulder pad and letting him get vertical with it. It's just another way to get our good players who do good things when they have the ball, get the ball in their hands, let them go make plays. Started an unbalanced set, right? Started unbalanced. Unbalanced set, goes back to a slot formation. Probably a little bit of a mix-up from an adjustment standpoint, but it's a good way for a pro-style team to do the same things. This doesn't just have to be a spread offense principle. Pro-style teams can do this too. So what we talked about here is taking advantage of linebackers playing too tight to the box, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, you can take advantage of one-on-one situations when it's just the corner and the receiver. If a corner's going to play off to get the ball out, he might not be a great tackler, or a guy who's going to play press and to snap across his face if you're getting some cover two. Your offensive line had to learn nothing new. They had nothing to do with any of those plays on the perimeter. Had nothing to do with them. They were running their runs the way they know it. They're executing the run called. Okay? And then it gives a different look to the defenses rather than just the perimeter screens. You make them defend the whole thing. There's a lot of clips I didn't put on there where they deploy out to defend the perimeter screen, and we're handing the ball off and getting chunks of yards in the running game as well. Okay? But you have to, in my opinion, you have to get over the, I don't want to call another screen. You're really not calling another screen. It's just part of your run game. That's all it is. And if you even put it into your run numbers at the end of the year, it'll make you feel better about yourself. I promise you, your run numbers will get better. Okay? It's hard to do for the O-line guys. I know, believe me. Okay, the other thing that we've gotten into is really tagging routes with the run game. This was a really big addition about the last 2 years for us. We really tried to expand ourselves a year ago with it, of just tagging routes down the field. So we're in a 3-by-1 set here. Okay, we're running a draw with hitches. So instead of always throwing bubbles or nows, right? Now we're throwing 5-yard hitch routes to number 2 or to number 3 or to number 1. The line is not doing anything different. They're still block and draw. Quarterback's counting. Same way he counted. If he has free access and he likes it, he takes it. Okay? Good look at it. You can do it that way. Here's an inside zone. Here's inside zone with a little seal blocker here with a single side hitch to the X. Real simple. In my mind, I called a run. I just called a run, and I got 11 yards. That's a run. Okay? It's only if it's given. If it's not given, quarterback, hand the ball off. Okay? There's a lot of times we all like calling quick game, right? Everybody likes to call slants or stick routes or hitch routes. Well, shoot, sometimes you go, that's not the look I want. It's cover 2, it's cover 4. Well, now you have a way to call quick game and you're handing the ball off. You have inside zone. You get the best of both worlds. Okay. Here it is at a 2x2 into the boundary. Same thing. We're getting a boundary pressure here. Great way to get the ball to guys. Give it. Yep, we just give it. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. He's reading number 2. That's exactly right. Okay. Obviously, this is a simple one on the goal line. We like to do quite a bit of this as well, as we're calling inside zone, pro-style offense, traditional offense, quarterback under center. Okay. Press coverage. You want to throw a fade, throw a fade. Okay, so we're all running inside zone. Quarterback's making the decision. I like my matchup here. I'm going to take my shot one-on-one. So, again, I'm just trying to show you how the principles can apply to pro-style offenses as well as maybe some of the gun spread principle type teams. Okay, here's another look at it. Here's out a 2-back set. Okay, same way. If you love your matchup, take it. All rookie team for the Bills, he better be able to win one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Got to take advantage of it. Okay. Now, one way where people can try to take advantage of maybe taking away the bubble screens, maybe taking away some of the hitch game is by playing a little bit more 3-deep coverage, right? Play a little bit more 3-deep so that they're covering down on the slots. Okay, maybe bail in the corner so that you can't throw the hitch to the outside guy. We started throwing what we call a rain scheme, but it's a little bit more of a skinny. It's not a slant, it's not a seam. It's somewhere in between there. We're going to attack the outside shoulder, slip and slide of the near defender, keep this thing on the move. Quarterback's going to now read the next inside defender. Here it is out of 2x2. We're still running the zone scheme with the quarterback in the back. The backer's going to trigger for the run fill. Now we're going to slip inside that guy. Same principle. Don't worry about offensive linemen being downfield. The ball's out before it gets illegal. Okay, and it's a really good way, it's a really good adjustment off of this when you start getting 3-deep coverage. You can keep the hitch on outside. This guy's wrong. Keep the hitch on outside, so if he does squeeze it, you have somewhere to go with the ball. You get the ball outside. Very simple read for the quarterback. Okay. Okay, here it is again. We're eyeballing the near defender. What we started to do late in the year, guys, we started manning this thing on the backside with our tackle. We started manning this backside, and this truly became the read for the quarterback. Our guy got banged up. We never wanted him to pull the ball. He was 5 flat to start the season. He got slower as it went on. He was banged up. So we started manning this backside. This was his read. He was on the skinny rein coming through. Okay. This isn't a great example of it here, but that's what we started getting to. Okay. Same idea is doing it out of a 3x1 formation. Okay. 3x1. So now the tight end's going to arc, and he's going to replace where that skinny was. Number 2 is going to run an inside fade, and number 1 is going to run the now like we talked about out of the 2-back sets. He's got the now. Progression read for the quarterback. Okay, if he fills the run, we're popping it to the tight end. If he gets confused, he thinks he filled the run, he gets underneath it, he's going to peek the seam. They never cover the now outside. If the backer plays the pop, hand the ball off. We get what we want. Okay. Pretty easy read for the quarterback. Pretty easy look at it. Okay. You can also run the same concept, and instead of having this guy on the now outside, you put number 2 on the bubble. You still run the pop, just try to stretch this flat defender to go play the bubble to create a little bit more space. Okay, pretty good look. He's reading this. It's inside backer, inside the tight end. Real simple. If this backer were to play over the tight end, we are handing the ball off. There's no calls made. Nobody's saying anything. The offensive line and the running back, they're running the run. The quarterback and the tight end receivers, the receivers are running the pass. The quarterback's the one making the decision whether to hand it off or whether to throw it. So this is just a simple way. If you don't have a quarterback that you love running zone read with, this is a simple way to keep some of your zone read principles intact, but doing it with the passing game instead of the quarterback running it. Another good look at it. There's our read. Ball's out. Pretty easy completion. Okay. Another way we'd like to do it, sometimes, again, people can trigger when the bubble's coming, when it's not coming. This is really good versus cover 4 teams, quarters teams, right? Your sandbacker stacked, your safety's high, is running the run and tagging the Y on a flat route or an arrow route. Same principle as the bubble, same technique for this outside receiver, but now the tight end's just running a flat route or an arrow route. Quarterback, again, is reading the near flat defender. He's counting. It's 1 for 1. The safety's deep. It's 2 on 1. We're throwing it. Okay, pretty simple look right there, right? Backers stays tight to the box. Safety's high. We are throwing this ball outside. Good technique by the receiver down here. Get to his outside number, outside shoulder. Okay, ball up inside. So just another variation, trying to play to your strengths. This kid was the Mackey Award winner last year, best tight end in the country. So it was, we want to try to get him the ball creative ways, not always to our receivers. The other way we like to use some of these perimeter screens is to tag them with quick game. So all of these were tagged with runs. Now we're tagging them with quick game. So it gives you answers. If you don't know if a team's going to play man or zone, you can use multiple formations and motions. No new learning for the O-line. They're running their normal pass protections, and it gives us a chance at some big play opportunities against man coverage. Okay? So as we look at this, we're going to motion over here, and we're running the same 3-receiver screen that we were running in the run game, right? Same receiver screen, just tried to hide it with a little motion. But down here now, if we got man coverage, and here's Robert Woods, I'm running double slants. So if I get man-to-man, I could take advantage of a one-on-one slant route here, or if it's zone, I can take advantage of our numbers up top. So you get the best of both worlds, a two-way go for the QB. Okay, we're getting man. Okay, not a great adjustment. Excuse me, we're getting zone here, not a great adjustment. Take advantage of our numbers. Great job perimeter blocking, man. Get to his outside shoulder. Get to his outside shoulder. Really well done by both of these guys. Okay, you're going to jump in here. I'm going to pin you in, and now you can get up the sideline. Really well done. Really well done. Okay. Here's another way. Same screen. Now we're just disguising it with motion. We're still spitting the ball out. Same techniques by these receivers. It's just repetition over and over and over. Get to his outside shoulder. Outside shoulder, outside shoulder. He wants to jump in there. Pin him in. Easy. Get to his outside shoulder. He wants to jump outside. Now we create a running alley right there for our runner. %85 completion percentage last year on these plays. Why wouldn't we throw more of them? Who's calling these plays? Okay. Now, we got a bubble called here. We got a bubble called. Here's our blockers. We got double slants up top. We know it's man-to-man coverage. Well, shoot, it's man-to-man. We got a really good hybrid running back / receiver outside. Okay, well, we knew he had a slant on. Let's go ahead and give him a slant and go, or a sluggo in our vernacular, and throw a touchdown pass against the linebacker. Okay, so the quarterback understanding man-zone principles, when to take advantage of the screen versus zone, when to take advantage of the slants or slant and goes versus man-to-man coverage. Good look. Good look. Okay. Now, same play. Zone coverage. Spit it out. Get the ball in space. I put this on here for a reason. One, he's really good. That's Sarkisian. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. The point being, this is a great way to hide your guys, hide your playmakers, put them in the backfield. Give them opportunities to get the ball in different spaces on the field. They don't always have to line up outside. You can line them up in the backfield and just get them the ball in their hands. Because inevitably, when he gets it there, my screen got cut off. I'll go the wide side. Now this is a 240, 250-pound backer in space. So all of us do these tackling drills, right, in training camp. We always line the DBs up against the receivers and the running backs against the linebackers, the tight ends line. Well, now here's this big linebacker in space against the wide receiver. Okay, that's a favorable matchup for us. This is a hard tackle for this guy to make. Okay, so just an easy way to get the ball on the perimeter into your playmaker's hands, allow him to go make plays. 85% completion percentage. This one we started doing a while back. It was a pro-style thought, and now as we've evolved to a little bit more of the spread thoughts at times, this was an easy way for us to get the ball using play action, okay, to make it appear like we're running a naked or a bootleg, but still use the same principles, okay, for our receivers on the outside. No new learning for the O-line. Allows us to get wide-out personnel involved here, so we'll take a look at it. We're now going to start the receiver here. We're going to short motion him, snap it. Okay, so here's the same run game that we've been running, right? Here's zone scheme. Quarterback, again, is counting as if this receiver was already over here running a bubble. Okay, he's counting it the same way, as if he's already over here. Well, this defender is not expanding out of the box with the motion. He is going to pull it and give it to this man on a slide play. These two receivers are blocking it the exact same way. Not very good technique by this slot guy. He's got to attack the outside shoulder. Get out here. Okay? Same principles, same plays, just a different way of hiding it to get these really good guys the ball in their hands. See it from the back. Obviously, motion, landmark, and timing is critical, but this is a really easy way of just getting the ball to guys in space to go make plays. If you are, here's one more shot of it. Okay, again, I put this on here. This is exactly what we're looking for, right? From a technique standpoint, getting to the outside shoulder, boom, pin them in. Okay, I also put this on here, press man free technique, run him off till he recognizes, then snap him up. Same plays, right? We're going to get a 3-on-2 look. There's only 2 defenders. Here comes our third guy. Pull it and throw it. Okay? Put this on here because I don't know, not everybody in here is a 3-4 wide team, you know. This is a true fullback. This is the exact same play. It's called now. It's not so much of a read for the quarterback, but it's called now, and there's a way if you got a good fullback or a good tight end to get him involved to do the same thing. Same principle up top, press man, run him off. Okay, not great here by this guy. He's looking to push crack. He doesn't need to be doing all that. But again, put it on here that you can do this out of a 2-back offense if it's something you're looking to find easy completions and get the ball to these guys. Why do we do this? So off of this, we have some variations. Okay, here's a bubble with double slants. If they're going to overplay the bubble here, okay, there's the double slants coming in behind it. Really easy look for the quarterback. Okay, here's another one. Bubble, slanting behind it. Okay, pretty good look. Here's another look at if you're a gun team. Okay, if you want to, here's the motion that we saw earlier. You guys remember using this motion earlier behind the quarterback? Okay, now we're going to fake this bubble, and we're going to run a post. We're going to bluff stock, and then we're going to get the wheel off of it. Pretty good look. So there's some pretty cool variations off these perimeter screens. You know, you just don't have to live and stand there in 2x2 and throw bubbles. You can find different ways to be creative with the bubbles to take advantage of some of the over-aggressiveness that you might get. Here's the same formation, the unbalanced formation with the tight end. Okay, with the tight end, the 3 receivers. Now we're going to get an automatic sky check by the defense. Going to play cover 3. Now we're going to run the same play. We're going to bubble. Okay, we're going to bluff stock, and now we get the wheel up the sideline. Okay, and then you get a slow screen off of it too, the last piece to the puzzle. It's a really good way. Okay, if you know you're getting the defense's attention, you've taken advantage of throwing these bubbles here to the field. Okay, now you can come back, fake the bubble screen, and come back to the slow screen. If you were to get a blitz look off this edge and you knew you had numbers for the quarterback, he does have the freedom to still throw it out here. That's why you're seeing these receivers still block the bubble screen. But it's a great way to take advantage of it, to come back with the slow screen back the other way. See the quarterback's mechanics, just a little quick, subtle pump to the bubble, come right back to the slow screen the other way. Okay, I think we got 2 more shots and I'll wrap it up here. There's another look out of a 2-back set. Same thing, you can dress it up however you want every week. That's up to you, whatever's your flavor, and a way to get to the same screens. Okay. Pretty good look. Here's one more. 2-back set. Another way to do it. Another way to do it. Pretty good look at it. Nice job getting out on the perimeter, making our blocks. Anything about just getting the ball outside. It's not rocket scientist, believe me, but I think it is effective. But in my opinion, you have to go into the mindset of saying this is a run. You're putting the ball on the perimeter, but it's a run. Apply it to your run game. When you do your stats and your numbers at the end of the year, don't do it in your pass breakup. Do it in your run breakup and look at the numbers and say, hey, if that was a run, would I be happy? I think you'll be pleased with the results. Keeps the defense honest, and then you can get some big plays off of it with some of the variations, right? Some of the pass variations, couple of the screen variations. And believe me, you can do it. You don't have to be a spread team to do it. We're not. We're multiple. You see there's some pro-style principles of where it worked as well. But all in all, it's been effective for us. Hopefully you guys can incorporate some of that stuff. So I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully you got something. Just get one thing out of it, then it's worth it, and then you make yourself a better coach, and hopefully you make your team a better team. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.